JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Once again, because this is video to record the previous one, which didn't really work out well because I do apologize, there were some internet problems on my side. So yep, this is going to be my second attempt here for today's video. Today's the 22nd of July 2022. It's Friday, guys, so let this little hiccup not really disappoint us too much. Probably this is me telling to myself more than to anybody else. But okay, guys, let's start fresh. And some of you who will be joining in will we have already probably seen some of the instruments that I looked at before in my first video attempt. But this, I'll go through it because this is a new recorded one. I've deleted the previous one, so yeah, this is going to be a purely new one. So bear with me once I go through the same instruments that you have already probably we already looked at. But for the sake of this video, for this recorded session, I need to kind of go through everything again. But anyway, before we go further, as always, just a quick kind of suggestion to go through our risk disclaimer. This is something that we actually not really, probably the word suggestion is the wrong one here, is something that we have to do it. So yeah, let me just quickly go through this one. So the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, okay, so before we, so probably the easier way thing here right now is to, of course, as always, about our JFD brokers website, and probably for that, let me just jump into the charts straight away. Some of them, like I said, that we looked at already, but I'll still go through this. So, basically, with the Nikkei 225, as always, this is what I start off with. Nikkei 225 had a good run to the upside. This week I told you to keep an eye on this barrier here, the 27,062 mark. We cleared that one because, again, I was saying that, look, maybe we could be forming here a possible ascending triangle, which worked out, to be honest, perfectly. So we also moved above the 200-day EMA, so everything's kind of looking quite positive here. We're moving towards the upper side of the of this range, the wide range where the index is currently trading in. It has been trading here from around mid-March, so yep, we're moving comfortably towards the upper side. However, don't get me wrong, even if we do retrace back down here, as long as it stays somewhere, let's say above this 200-day EMA, I will continue aiming towards that upper side of the range, which is roughly around that 28,339 territory. Again, not the specific level, but more of an area that I'm going to be looking at here. So yeah, somewhere around here. Hong Kong's Hang Seng, guys. I haven't looked at this one for quite a while. As you can see, yeah, I need to refresh this because I did redraw everything again. But anyway, what I wanted to say here, this has to go. Yep, this can stay here because what I'm going to be drawing here is a possible triangle here on a bigger picture. We are stuck in between these two trend lines here, as you can see. We're currently resting near the upside support line, this one right here, taken from the low of the 15th of March. Now, don't get me wrong. The fact that it could still drift lower, but probably at this point, in order to go lower, I would prefer to see a drop below this current lowest point of July, near the 20,216 territory right there. A nice good drop below it would confirm a forthcoming lower low, and yep, potentially more sellers could join in. So keep that in mind. So even if we do drop below this upside line, I would still need to wait for a drop below the 20,216 territory in order to go lower, because a forthcoming lower low would be confirmed then. With the upside, now what I would prefer is to wait for a push somewhere above this area, above the 2111 level here, 21,111 zone. That's the high of this week. So yep, and also it coincides nicely with the 21-day EMA. If we do push through it, then I'll aim for this this downside line. Now, this is where the interesting bit comes in. So, for example, even if we break the downside line, yes, we could go higher, but I'll be very careful. This is what I already mentioned to some of you who joined me on my unsuccessful first video. But yeah, this is what you can basically keep an eye on. So, possibility to see an ascending triangle here forming could be an interesting kind of scenario. So yep, and if we do break the downside line, then of course all action could come in here near this upper side of the potential ascending triangle pattern, which is roughly around that 22,523 territory. It also is near the 200-day EMA, so in a way it just proves to be quite an important area to watch out for. But yeah, let's of course let's not rush into anything first. In order to consider any, let's say, any ascending triangle patterns here, we still need to see a strong rebound from this upside line and a push above the high of the of this week near the 21,111 zone. Now jumping into ASX 200, so this one here pushed nicely above the 6,694 territory right there. That's the inside swing high of the 8th of July. We pushed above it, and we also traveled nicely above this other target, one of my targets, the 6,746 level, which we managed to break comfortably. I'm still aiming for the upside, but I'm being very careful because I do have this downside line right here which could provide resistance, so be very careful with that. If you're looking for something maybe a little bit more reassuring, or let's say maybe a strong, if you missed this move to the upside here and you don't want to jump in right now here, for example, you cannot just leave it. There will be an opportunity on this one, but at the moment, like I said, I'm leaning a little bit more towards the upside, but only up until this downside line. If this downside line gets broken, yes, great, we could go higher, but we do have another obstacle in the way here, this 6,920 zone. But let's get to that point first. Let's not rush into anything. Maybe we could see a drift back down here, but for that I would probably prefer to wait for a drop somewhere below the 6,675 territory, marked by the inside swing high of the 19th of July. Also, it coincides right now with the 21-day EMA. So yep, in a way, at the moment, I would say we could be watching here. We're kind of leaning a little bit more towards the upside on this one, to be honest. But again, if it suddenly drops below that hurdle at the 6,675 territory, marked by the which coincides with the 21-day EMA, that may lead to a bit of a larger, let's say, correction here to the downside. Okay, the German index. This is what I talked a lot in my first video, but it's okay. So I'll mention this again. Basically, let's see how this is going to play out. So basically for now, I mean, what I'm going to say here is that yes, we could be forming here a possible pole, and for that maybe we're going to be forming a possible bullish flag pattern. Now we saw this huge acceleration here on the 19th of July. We found resistance near the 13,378 territory, and we started correcting lower. The cash index right now is let me just quickly double check. Yes, it's on we're trading at around 13,180 zone, so basically below yesterday's close, so kind of proving nicely this point that maybe we could be seeing a further decline here, but maybe not a significant one. And like I said, maybe this will kind kind of form that potential bullish flag pattern here. So either way, even if that's the case, still a breakout above this barrier is needed. Let me just also highlight this whole territory, because that's what I'm keeping an eye on right now. Bullish flag or not, either way, I need to see a confirmation breakout above this 13,378 territory in order to go higher. As long as it stays anywhere above this 21-day EMA or this inside swing high. Let me just grab this one right there. There we go. This inside swing high of the 8th of July, which is roughly around that 13,019 territory, or in general, we can say as long as it stays above the 13,000 mark, we can still aim to the upside. I can see, guys, I can see that some of you are tuning in already, and I can see those likes coming through. Honestly, that really helps me right now, because again, this whole drive has, with the whole first video cutting off, did kill off the momentum a little bit, I would say. So maybe this one's a little, this turn is a little bit like kind of a little bit on the sloppy side, but hey, I hope you're gonna stick with me right now then until we go through all the rest of the instruments. And I hope the internet is not going to disappear again. But anyway, that's something that's not under my control anymore. Okay, so with the German index, yes, like I said, that's in terms of the upside. With the downside, the 12,828 territory, that's what I'm keeping an eye on. If we drop below it, then yeah, I'll consider a move to the downside. Nasdaq 100, just a quick update. So yeah, Nasdaq 100 did a fantastic move and continues to make a fantastic move here to the upside. So this, again, this ascending triangle pattern also worked out nicely. So as you notice, we have lately, we have on some of the instruments we have lately have been forming these nice ascending triangles. So yeah, and according to all the TA rules, these tend to break to the upside, and to be honest, so far so good. So far, yeah, that's working according to all the TA rules. Now, we pushed through that 12,176 territory. I kept on talking about this from the beginning of this week, guys. Yeah, there we go. We continue to travel higher, and my next target is the 12,897 territory right here. Not far from that 100-day EMA here, shown as the green line. So that's what I'm going to be aiming here for initially. Yesterday, Nasdaq was the best performer. Closed with the biggest gain from the top three. I'm talking about Dow, S&P, and Nasdaq. Nasdaq 100 here. So yeah, the cash index is sitting at around 12,518 territory currently. Below yesterday's close, but hey, still, as long as we stay somewhere above this 12,176 territory, I will continue aiming to the upside. If we suddenly start falling back below the 12,176 territory here, maybe this is where it could be time for maybe a bit of a retracement here initially, and then a test of this upside line. But if that gets broken, then yeah. But again, we'll get to that point if we do get a drop all the way back below the 12,176 territory. So DXY, guys, the dollar index, so continues to rest on that 21-day EMA, and as I mentioned to you yesterday, certainly it's an interest. Certainly at the moment we have to be very careful with the DXY. We had our rally, we had our good move. Now we're seeing a retracement. Can this be just seen as a retracement, just a temporary correction before another possible leg of buying? Well, again, it's going to be involved into it's all going to end up being a waiting game as always, and waiting for a clear breakout through one of my levels here. So for me at the moment, yes, nice decline here, great. Currently we're resting on the 21-day EMA, but don't get me wrong, it might still break it, because we do have some room here in order to test this upside line taken from the low the 30th of May. But given that this upside line is very tentative and very short term, then if we do drop below the 21-day EMA, I will go lower. I'll aim to the downside, but then I'll probably more aim for this 105.79 level right there, marked by the high of the 15th of June. However, if that gets broken, now that's where the whole excitement could come in, because then we could see a move towards this upside line taken from the low of the 10th of February, this medium-term upside support line, which could be tested later on. But again, like I said, let's not rush into anything. First, let's see what's going to happen with that 21-day EMA. If we continue to trade above it, okay, that's great. But if we start breaking below it and we also drop below this 106.40 zone, now that's where, yeah, like I said, it could start getting a little bit more exciting. With the upside, I would prefer to wait for a push over the 107.49 level right here, 48 level right here. So, and then yeah, I will go for the upside. Now, jumping into gold. Gold had a huge move to the upside. Look at this, guys. And by the way, if you remember my yesterday's video when I talked about gold, I said, look, if we drop and we continue to trade below that 1697 territory, I said that, look, I'm going to aim lower, but I'm not going to aim drastically to the downside. I'm going to aim to one of my levels here, the 1677 or the 1682 levels. And boom, we reached those targets, we reached those levels, and look at the beautiful reversal that we're having, where we saw yesterday. And then basically everything worked out perfect according to the books. So at the moment, what I'm looking at here is a possibility maybe to go higher. But because if you remember, I talked about this recently, well, actually I talked about this week. I mentioned one thing, that for example, when we do have these declines, let's say a sharp decline to the downside, a huge candle, you know, to the downside, then we have the next step is the smaller kind of decline, the more gradual decline, more kind of, you know, with not as sharp as the previous one here. Then we tend to get a breakout to the upside. Like a similar story was with EURUSD. I've mentioned that, I talked about that, and we got that. I'll get to the point. I'll get to EURUSD in a bit. So we got to that point. Like I said, yeah, we're seeing a strong reversal back up. Maybe we could see a bit of a retracement here, maybe back down, or maybe this retracement already happened. Again, I don't want to rush into anything yet, but keeping a close eye on this 1721 territory. A nice good pop above it may attract more buyers into the game, guys. This is the lowest point of I think September. Yep, September 2021. If we get a nice clear move above it, then yeah, I'll aim for that 21-day EMA. US oil, guys, WTI oil, look at the strong decline we saw yesterday. And look, I mean, I kept on saying to you yesterday that as long as we stay below this downside line taken from the high of the 14th of June, and then we drop below that 100.92 territory, somewhere around here, then yes, I will aim lower. I will go to the downside, at least initially aiming for that 200-day EMA. But if that gets clear, then I'll aim for that 94.59 territory. Well, there we go. We managed to reach the 200-day EMA, even overshoot it, and almost, I would say almost, I think that still, did it reach it? Where was the low? Almost, guys, just, oh my god, this just by a couple of 200s of yeah. So okay, so we reached, let's say that was a good test, that was a good touch, so perfect, mission accomplished. Okay, now what's next? Looking at this picture, we can see that we are possibly forming a descending triangle pattern here. According to all the TA rules, these tend to break to the downside, but as long as it stays in this territory right now, I'm just observing this one. I'm not doing anything. We got our strong moves to the downside already. Now maybe we'll see a bit of, you know, jumping around here, maybe trading around that 200-day EMA. So if you're looking for something a little bit more reassuring, then certainly yes, wait for a clear breakout, either through this 93.56 territory right here, or a push above that, back above this 100.92 territory, and then yeah, we could go higher. Now Ethereum, guys, looking at this, still the bulls are not giving up. Nice, everything's working out nicely. So how many times I've mentioned this, that for example, whenever we have a, let's say, a trend line or something like that, or resistance line or an upside line or support line, so whenever we have a trend line like that and we get a breakout, sometimes we get a decline, and then we test the same trend line from above, specifically in this case, for example, when we break the downside line, we test it from above and then we rebound and push higher. So at the moment, everything's looking quite positive, to be honest, and I would say I am a little bit more on the bullish side. But my problem here is the let me just redraw this arrow a little bit here. My problem is this barrier right here, this 1700 zone. So we could see a push higher, but let's see how it's going to behave near that 1700, because that's quite an important level to watch. That was a key strong support level back here in May, and at the end of May, in the beginning of May, then the end of May, and the beginning of June as well, until it kind of got broken here in the middle of June. Also, this level acted as a fantastic area of support back in June 2021 and July 2021 as well. So there we go. You have an important level to watch. Again, I am, like I said, I'm leaning a little bit more towards the upside, but keeping a close eye on that 1700 level. If it breaks, great, we can go higher. If it doesn't, that's where the kind of the tricky bit could come in, and maybe we could see a bit of a decline here. So guys, AUDCHF, I've mentioned this one yesterday, and like I said, quite an interesting technical pattern here. Maybe it's a range, maybe not, but maybe it's an ascending triangle pattern, which kind of looks like something like this. There we go. Again, I would say we need to wait. We need to be careful here. If we do push through that 0.6710 territory, then yeah, I'll go for the upside. I'll go for that 0.6772 territory near the 100 and the 200 EMAs. I've talked already about this. I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but yeah, that's the game plan for me. Now, with the downside, the only thing is that I'm going to update myself here on the downside, and if we break the upside line, taken from the low of the 4th of July here, then yes, we could consider a move towards the lower side of the range, because again, if this upside line gets broken, then maybe we could see this one as a nice little range here, and then we'll go from there, of course. Now, Nzd Usd. I haven't looked at this for quite a while, but look, I mean, this is quite interesting because it has broken the downside line. It did correct back down. It remained above this downside line. Again, it's flirting with this downside line right now from above. And also, it's still sitting above this 0.6217 territory, which previously acted as a fantastic area of support. Now, then I looked at it as a resistance, and now it's doing the support job again. And also the fact that we are above the 21-day EMA gives a bit of excitement probably among the bulls here a little bit. So this level has to be adjusted, no longer needed. So what you can do here is keep your eyes on the current highest point of this week near the 0.6272 level. A nice good pop above it will confirm a forthcoming higher high, and then we could start aiming for this level, the 0.6395 zone, and slightly above that we do have the 100-day EMA. So in general, you could start aiming for that 100-day EMA, but probably for now, I would say I need to see a bit of a push above this barrier right here with the downside. Now, with the downside, probably I will stick to this idea. I will wait for a break below the crossroads of these two lines, and then if we do drop, let me just also grab a horizontal line here, and if we do drop below yesterday's low near the 0.6185 territory, then yep, that's where I'll go. This is from where I'll start considering the downside, where I'm going to aim for the current lowest point of July near the 0.6060 level. USD CAD, just a quick update, still struggling, with this, and yeah, looking at this picture here, I can see that, I mean, we're flirting really hard with this 1.2860 territory. I mean, look at this. Yesterday we had a bit of a roller coaster ride. We pushed higher. We tested the 21-day EMA, the 1.2936 level perfectly, and we drifted back down towards this highlighted area, towards that 1.2860 zone. So I'm still waiting for that confirmation breakout here, and if we do break below it, my next target is the 1.2820 zone. I get it, it's not far, but we do have the 100-day EMA right here, then if we clear that, then we could go towards that 200-day EMA, and so on and so on. So quite an interesting kind of picture here forming. If it somehow manages to climb back and pushes and stays above the 1.3013 level, maybe we could consider a bit of a move here to the ups, a further move to the upside then. Oh, I can see in the chat room there, Evu, yep, thank you very much. Thank you for the kind words. Yes, it is Friday. It is definitely Friday. Too bad that the other, I remember from my first video, the other people who were commenting, yeah, so unfortunately those, yeah, disappeared now, but thank you very much for the previous comments in the previous videos, guys. So yeah, I really appreciate that. So sorry for the little interruption. Unfortunately for the first person here, unfortunately I don't speak Korean, but yeah, I wish. So yeah, anyway, coming back to this, guys, Gbp Jpy, I've talked about this one as well, and just a quick update, basically just a quick just to see what's happening here. So we declined yesterday. We're still resting on this upside line, but again, I said to you before that I would prefer maybe to see a drop somewhere below this 164.12 level, but probably now I will adjust this because I'm going to point this level here. No, sorry, not this one. That's already a goner. I think it's easier to look at this. Okay, this is not really clear, so probably it's somewhere around here. This 164.35, because this is where the pair found some support today. And also it coincides nicely with the 21-day EMA. So a nice good drop below it, and previously it also actually acted as a good area of resistance and support too. So if a nice good drop below it may open the door towards some lower levels in the short run. EURUSD just to see what's happening here, and yeah, there we go. So yesterday we had a bit of also a roller coaster right here. We pushed higher, we climbed towards that 0.9944 level, and still continues to provide resistance. So okay, if you want to go higher, then you need to wait for another push above this barrier. Just proves how important this area is to be cleared. If it gets cleared, then yes, and we jump above the 21-day EMA, then yes, I'll go for the upside. And finally, EURUSD. Of course, yesterday the events were surrounding Europe. I mean, yes, I mean, first of all, Mario Draghi steps down, and then we have the increase in interest rates in Italy, in the Eurozone. So yeah, it was hectic. It was quite an eventful day for those who like to trade, on volatile days. Then yeah, you probably enjoyed it. But yeah, looking at this picture here, you can see that we have pushed higher yesterday. We traveled above that 21-day EMA, but failed to stay above it. We drifted back down, and now we're kind of, we're back to this, or at least an attempt to try and push towards that 21-day EMA. Let's see if we can break it and stay above it. If we can, then yeah, I'll go higher. I'll go towards this downside line here, taken from the high of the 10th of February. If we do push above that 21-day EMA, then like I said, I'll aim for that 1.0340 level. But if that gets clear, then my next stop could be this this downside line taken from the high of the 10th of February. With the downside, if it falls back below this 1.0122 territory, I am starting to look at some lower levels, especially the current lowest point of July near the 0.9952 level. Of course, before that we'll have the parity number, the one level, but below that, the next interesting level is the 0.9952 level. So guys, that's it. I'll have to wrap it up here. Thank you very much for again joining in to my session, my second attempt session. Yeah, the first one was unlucky, unfortunately, for me, but yeah, thank you very much, guys, for your support. Thank you for joining in, and thank you very much for those comments, for those likes. I really appreciate that. That kind of gives me a little boost, moral boost. But yeah, I hope you'll have a fantastic trading day today. Don't overtrade, that's the most important. Friday, guys, don't overtrade. Have your stop losses in place. If it's not going good, or let's say, you know, it's not your day, just leave it until Monday. And oh yeah, the thumbs up for you, Uwe, as well. So if the day is not going, guys, just leave it. There's always a Monday, and believe me, there always will be an opportunity. Have a wonderful trading day, and have a wonderful weekend, guys. See you on Monday. Bye bye.